Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. AQG here, and we're back with some Azure Striker Gunvolt. Fun fact, behind the scenes, I messed this take up the first time. I recorded the entire stage and played through it, and then apparently there was no recording at the end because I messed up and paused or something in the middle. I don't know. Anyway, this is the take two. And yeah, we're picking off where we left off last time. So first thing I need to mention, and this is a complete game changer, we unlocked the Crash Bolt. This is a skill introduced in the second game, Gunvolt 2, and this skill is amazing. That's why you see me set it. You see here you can set the skills to like all four directions on the right stick, but you can set one of them to a shortcut to the Y button, and that's what I'm going to be using basically for the rest of this game. The other thing we got after beating the last stage was the Naga. And that is another bolt for Gunvolt. So see how his bolts work are... so there are two things. Like every bolt usually has a specific like skill or a trait unique to it. Like for example, the Cerberus. Like the Cerberus was the one we have by default. It doesn't do anything really. It like it auto fires, but there's really nothing special to it, and it tags up to 3 targets maximum. The Naga gives you a charge shot, like I mentioned last part, and Xeno chimed in to let us know that it charges up, but it isn't like a Mega Man charge shot where it's just a more powerful bolt, since Gunvolt doesn't rely on his shots to do damage. What it does basically, if you want to lock on multiple targets at once, you can use that instead, and that way you can lock on to multiple targets. I never personally use it. I equipped the Naga for its second trait, and that being that it allows up to 5 targets. Now this doesn't mean that you can tag a single enemy more than 3 times. You're only allowed to go up to 3 on one enemy, but that means I can tag like this enemy here. I tagged them up to 2 times, which is the yellow marker, and I can tag this enemy here up to like 3 times. Like the total of tags on an enemy is 5 basically, if that makes any sense. So that's pretty neat. It makes it so that you're able to tag more enemies, and yeah, so that's pretty neat. We're gonna be unlocking more guns that either have different firing trajectories and different tag amounts or max tag numbers throughout playing the game. So yeah, but to be honest with you, the Naga's the one I use the most. Maybe it's just like the Mega Man in my brain kicking in. But I rarely use any other guns. Like another one we're going to be unlocking is very strategic, and like it makes it so that you're able to control your fire in a sense, where you can fire up and down and have your shot like either go up or down at a certain point. You'll see it when we get it. Like I'll try to show them off as best as I can. But yeah, they try to lend to different play styles for Gunvolt, and I don't know, I just end up sticking with the Naga or the Cerberus. I don't really use the charge shot capabilities here. And yeah, we're playing the fire level of the game, or we seem to be on this train, and it's carrying a lot of cargo. This level has a lot of boxes. I don't know what's in these boxes, but there sure are a lot of them. And yeah, I think this is... No, they were in the last level. This is the first level we've seen. By the way, that's Crash Bolt. You can use it. It hits you like on a bolt trajectory, like up and down. So it's very useful. We're going to be learning some other skills that are introduced in later games, later down the road as we level up more. But none of them come close to the Crash Bolt. This is easily my favorite skill. It's amazing. So yeah, I'm going to be using it a lot more, and that's why I'm going to probably be keeping it on my shortcut. Anyway, mini boss right here. There's this dude that has his weak spot shielded or closed up. He will open up occasionally where you can tag it and zap it. This is actually, I would recommend, you would not tackle this stage the way I did it. I'm tackling them, I mentioned this kind of in the last part, there's no specific order. I just, if you look it up, you can get, the only thing that changes depending on your order stage, or you can get some materials. Some materials are unique to specific stages, like materials are categorized into 3 different or 4 different categories. I think just common, 1-star common, 2-star common, and I think 3 stars are rare, and the 3 stars are probably unique to specific stages. This will be easier when I show you the items, but they do have like categories for them. I tried to do some research, but I didn't really find any good stage orders. So as far as I know, just go in any order you want. I would recommend not going for this stage first. Or in the beginning, not only because the boss here I think is is easily the toughest one out of like the 7 like fights we're gonna be going throughout the regular stages. I think this is easily the toughest one. But the mini boss as well can drag on, as you saw there. Like, I could have killed him much faster if I had a skill I haven't learned yet, which is called the Lux Caliber. So yeah. And now we're in the second part of the stage where we have these enemies here where they're like their center is green as long as you don't use your electric field around them, but once you do, they're going to home in on your direction, and if you leave them for long enough, they're going to explode into a burst of flames in 4 directions. Either like the 4 cardinal directions, up, down, left, right, or the 4 diagonals. Depends, I think, on which way they were facing when they blew up. But yeah, other than that, there's another enemy type we're going to be seeing here that's very annoying that I don't even bother to take down whenever I see them. We're going to be seeing them near the end of the stage, but yeah. Anyway, for this game, to try to get a high rank here, I'm trying to use the Fearless Kudos type. Also, try your best to go for those multiple kills. Like, you see how many points I get an extra if I kill like triple or double. Killing 3 enemies at once. Look at this. Look at the Kudos fly, brother. Look at that. And yeah, this already happened once in the opening stage, but if the Kudos number exceeds 1,000, one of Lumen's songs will play, and that's neat, I guess. I guess to mention the soundtrack overall, I don't have too many thoughts on it. I like it overall, but it's not something I usually come back to. There's not too much here that I commit to memory. I think Gunvolt 2 and Gunvolt 3 do a better job at the soundtrack, personally. And yeah, these rooms, these are like mini gauntlets of enemies. They're mainly meant to like help you get your score up there. What you can do is destroy the alarm. I think I did this in the last stage, where you can destroy this alarm in the center, and it'll immediately end the room. You can just leave. But in Gunvolt 1, you don't get the additional kudos as if you killed all the enemies. I think in the other games you get all the kudos. Like, if you just take out the alarm immediately, you're gonna find your kudos number skyrocketed. But that doesn't happen here, so I decided to do I'm trying to get a high score, so I decided to play the room regularly. Anyway, here, if you notice last stage, I got a jewel that was in the middle of the level. There's a jewel in every one of the 7 levels we're going to be playing. I'd recommend getting them. Why? You'll see later at the end of the game. This one is the hardest to get. You can see it right there, the bottom right. Try not to destroy any of the big... I lost my score, by the way, because I'm very skilled, but... So, I have a tip. I have a set pattern for it, but my advice is to try to destroy almost all the blue boxes around the explosive ones first, so that you don't get the big black crate to fall down on the jewel. If you do end up messing it up, it's no big deal. You can just hit retry in the main menu, or in the pause menu, and what that will do, it'll basically take you to your last checkpoint. You have 3 options. You have retry, restart, and abort. Retry takes you to your last checkpoint. Restart makes you try the whole stage again, and abort takes you back to your select screen. So yeah. But yeah, easily that's the hardest jewel to get. All the others are pretty easy, I'd say. And yeah. This part here is also kind of interesting. You have the orbs that home in on you, these enemies, and you also have these platforms that move when you use the electric field. So you have to really plan your usage for the electric field here, because you know, it makes the platforms move. These things come out, like the pipes, I think, explode or whatever. But yeah, those enemies, those samurai enemies, you've seen me fight them. They kind of deflect your shots if you try to fire at them normally. You have to wait for them to like put their guard down as if they're about to tackle you, and then fire at them, but they're gonna disappear and try to strike you from above. Get out of the way of that. They take a bit to finish, but if you can hit them with Crash Bolt, you're good. Anyway, this is where I should probably get into explaining some skills. We're at our boss, and if you've seen, I've used Galvanic Patch for the first time, where I'm healing.
You telling me? When I heard you were here on my turf, I busted my tail to get down here. Forget about the reactor. The only place you're going is 6 feet under.
He's Australian. Oh my god. A romantic love interest for Jewel. And Gunvolt is jealous. Anyway, yeah, so something interesting I want to mention about the skills in this game. If you've noticed during gameplay, at the bottom right you have these 3 like cards. Like one of them is golden right now, I've used up 2 of them. All your skills, or most of them, use up like some of those cards, and they also have cooldown periods. So Crash Bolt doesn't. That's one of the unique things about the Gunvolt 2 skills, is that they don't use any you know thing. So any SP it's called. But for example, Galvanic Patch here uses 1, and it has a cooldown. If you see in the top right, it has a cooldown. I can't use it for a bit, but even after a bit, I don't have any cards left, so I can't use it. So you always have to be mindful with your usage. And if you're wondering why I'm not talking about the boss here, it's because his ultimate is easily the hardest to dodge in the game. Look at this! Look at this! This isn't freaking Galaga. How am I supposed to get... What the hell? But I have the power of anime on my side, and I get to revive for free! Haha! Yes, folks, this is the mechanic I told you about last part, where there's a chance that you might be revived if you die, but you have to talk to Jewel to raise your chances. But yeah, I didn't really get to talk about the boss's patterns too much, but he basically like shoots these explosives at you. They you can take them out with your flash field, electric field. He slides at you, but he also has this like jumping at the walls thing, at the firewalls. And the depending on if he's gonna do the slide or the jump, it's very it's very slight. Like, you have little time to react. So my advice is just to stay away from him as much as you can, so that you have like ample time to react to his moves. And yeah, it's honestly kind of like a tricky fight. I recommend either you have Pervasion on if you're having trouble with it, or you tackle the stage a bit later when you're a bit more used to the game. And I got a C rank there because, well, I died. And if you use the Anthem mechanic, I could have chose to retry there, and I think I could have still had a shot at a better rank. But no, I decided to keep going to show off the Anthem. And yeah. So that's why I got a C. Anyway, Asimov over here telling us about the challenges. I think I briefly explained these in one of these parts, but I did tackle some challenges here. I'll talk about them a bit more later, like in the later part. Again, we're in part 3 here, and I just feel like there's so much to explain. So, I don't know, man. We're getting through it. I hope you're keeping up with like all these mechanics that this game has. But yeah, we took down 2 stages. Come back next part when we're probably going to be heading up the radio tower. See you then.